Nobody's going to teach you this. Not in school, not in therapy, not even in those viral motivational reels. Because the truth is too powerful. There's one sentence so psychologically effective, so dangerously persuasive, that it can flip the outcome of a job interview, a date, a business deal, or even an argument in your favor. This sentence doesn't scream authority. It whispers logic, and the human brain, it listens, it reacts, it obeys. This is the hidden power of subconscious permission, getting people to say yes while believing it was their idea all along. And yet, 99% of people will never discover it. Why? Because it sounds too simple, too obvious. But the human mind doesn't operate on complexity. It responds to patterns, and this pattern is a silent assassin of resistance. So what's this one sentence? And how do you master it ethically? Let's rewind to a real experiment. In 1978, Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer conducted a bizarre study using nothing but a Xerox machine. A woman asks, "Can I use the copier?" 60% people let her, but when she said, "Can I use the copier because I'm in a hurry?" 94% people complied. Even crazier, she tried, "Can I use the copier because I need to make copies?" A useless reason, and still 93% said yes. Why? Because of the word because. It triggers the illusion of justification. It tricks the subconscious into lowering its guard. The brain hears because and assumes the request is valid. No logic required. Now combine that with empathy, and you've got a compliance bomb. The full sentence format is, "I understand your condition and I respect that, but I need you to sit with me and talk for 5 minutes because silence will only make this worse." Sounds simple? It is, but it's wired into the deepest parts of human psychology. This one sentence hits 3 layers of the human brain. The emotional brain feels acknowledged, the logical brain hears a reason, and the primal brain detects confidence. This is why smart manipulators use this sentence unconsciously. Think about it. Ever had a friend or partner ask you to do something, and you found yourself saying yes, even though you didn't want to? Chances are, they gave you a reason. Even if it was weak, your brain still registered it as valid. But here's where it gets deeper. Layer this sentence with vocal tonality. Your voice should drop at the end, not rise. Why? Because a downward tone signals finality and authority. It mimics the way confident leaders speak. Psychologically, we're trained since childhood to obey voices that sound sure of themselves. A rising tone sounds like a question. A falling tone sounds like a command. One earns consideration, the other triggers compliance. Try it. Say this in a firm, slow, downward voice. "I need you to sign off on this now, because the deal closes in 2 hours. Feels different, right? Now add mirror technique. If someone says, "I'm too tired to do this now," repeat it back subtly. "I understand you're tired, and I respect that, but I need your input now, because we're on a deadline that won't wait." You've acknowledged them, matched their emotional state, and still inserted your ask. This is psychological judo, redirecting resistance instead of fighting it. Want another level? Mix in scarcity and urgency. Example, "I respect that you're cautious, and I get it, but I need your decision today, because this opportunity won't be available tomorrow." Now you're triggering FOMO, fear of missing out. Humans hate losing more than they love winning. Loss aversion is stronger than desire. That's how this sentence becomes unstoppable when used with empathy. And yes, this works in relationships too. "I know you're upset and I understand, but I want us to sit for just 5 minutes because I believe silence will only make this worse." You're not begging, you're leading. You're guiding the conversation from emotion to resolution. That's what emotionally intelligent people do. They don't manipulate emotions, they reframe them. By the way, if you're still with me, I've got something very special for you. The Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. It's an e-book that contains the forbidden knowledge used by high-level thinkers. But this will be deleted soon. The elites don't want this out. So check the description or pinned comment right now to grab it before it's gone. Now, what if you use this on yourself? Say, I'm going to study tonight because my future self is watching me. You create internal accountability. The brain responds to logic, even if it's self-imposed. Now combine all this into one master sentence. I get that this is uncomfortable and I respect your boundaries, but I need you to trust me for just this moment, because what we do right now could shift everything. Powerful, right? But here's the caution. This is not to be used to lie, cheat, or manipulate. When used unethically, this sentence becomes a weapon, but when used with integrity, it becomes a leadership tool. Great leaders don't control people. They guide them with clarity, calmness, and conviction. This one sentence creates the illusion of choice while directing behavior ethically. And guess what? You've been on the receiving end of this for years, through marketing, politics, religion, sales. Now it's your turn to use it consciously. So here's your challenge. Use this sentence structure 3 times this week. Once with a friend, once at work, and once on yourself. Watch the magic. Watch the shift in energy. And if it works, come back and comment with what happened. Because understanding psychology is no longer optional in this world. It's the new survival skill. You either know how the game is played, or you're being played without knowing it. If this video made you pause, made you think, then don't ignore that feeling, because awareness is the first step to power. The tools you just learned, they're not tricks, they're weapons. And in the hands of the right person, they can influence minds, shift outcomes, and lead silently without force. But remember, real strength doesn't come from control. It comes from calm, clarity, and knowing exactly when to act. You're not just watching anymore. You're becoming the kind of person others follow, without even knowing why. Most people go their whole lives without learning the sentence that silently breaks resistance and wins people over, whether in relationships, negotiations, or self-discipline. It's not loud. It doesn't manipulate. It aligns logic, emotion, and confidence into one unstoppable force. Use it wisely. And if you've watched this far, you're not ordinary. You're the kind of person who wants to lead, influence, and elevate. So subscribe for more content like this, because knowledge like this, 99% will never find it, but you just did. And now the game is in your hands.